First quarter numbers, Brian?
Pretty dominant here by Minnesota. I mean, they've kept Favre off the field. They forced 2 turnovers. I think I've seen him in the ring a few times, huh?
I've seen him down in Tampa at Buccaneers games.
Well, that's where he lives, doesn't he?
The real Hulk Hogan lives in the Tampa area. Big sports fan.
Here comes KGB.
And he brings down Culpepper. First sack of the season. The Biamila, 13.5 sacks 2 years ago, 12 last season.
And he beat Bryant McKinney with pure speed right off the edge. McKinney tried to help out Chris Lewinsky, the left guard, and by that time, Biamila was by him. And, you know, this is his first year of being a full-time starter, and he gives up 100 pounds in some cases, but this is a game of speed and quickness, and that's where he wins. He's now on the other side, going against Rosenthal.
Loss of 7. On the sack by KGB. Second down and 17. 4 wide receiver set. Here he comes again. Culpepper steps up. Lost the football. Pressure from KGB once again, and the Packers recover. Biamila recovers the fumble. Culpepper tied an NFL record last year with 23 fumbles.
Yes, the turnover battle continues there. You had Dante Culpepper, who you heard the announcer say 23 fumbles. He lost 9 last season, plus the interceptions. You know, this is something that the guy, he talked about in the preseason that he had gotten over, but maybe not yet.
Not yet. This is the first game of the season. You know, we're going to see what's going to happen for the rest of the season. But, you know, whatever is going on, get it out of the way right now, the first week. Then second week, you come back and start winning games.
How important is it for a team? You know, you got these guys making these turnovers, but it just doesn't seem that so far in this game, the offense is taking advantage of it.
Well, one thing you have to understand is that in the first game of the season, everybody's still fresh. Everybody's still, you know, getting used to playing the real game, or, you know, the full game. But if you start making mistakes and it starts to snowball, you know, the head coach has to step in there, call a timeout, and talk to the whole team. Because I remember Coach Schottenheimer doing the same thing when I was in Kansas City. Timeout, talk to the whole team, tell them, calm down, play the game, have fun. You know, but I don't know what's going on right now.
Here you have a Packers team, 10 out of 11 starters are back, but it just doesn't seem that way.
Well, yeah, but I think that turnover might, you know, just tip the balance in their favor a little bit, because, I mean, that first quarter certainly was all Minnesota, but they've only got 10 points to show for it. Now Green Bay can say, well, we're still in this thing. It's only 10 points, early going still. Now we've got the turnover. And the guy that caused it, of course, was KGB. I remember 2 years ago, I said that's a one-trick pony. Great speed, edge rusher, but nothing else. Well, his game really developed last year when they had all those injuries, and he really had to step in and be an every down guy, and he punched way above his weight. He's so light, he's like 250 or something like that. But he really did develop and mature as a player, and, you know, I had to totally tear up my thoughts on him. I thought, this guy is an impact player in a lot of senses, and you saw him make his impact right there.
Following the Culpepper fumble, Packers start from midfield. Favre looking for Driver. And the Packers get the flag they were looking for. Bernard Walker on the coverage. 2 flags came out. Walker down in the face of Driver. Crash talking.
It really wasn't a very good throw by Favre on it. Kind of underthrew it.
Ended receiver.
Pass interference. Number 24 in the defense. Automatic first down.
It was actually on Bernard Walker right here. You see him. The ball's underthrown, and then Bernard Walker ran right into Driver. It's a good call, but really it's because of the underthrow by Favre.
29-yard penalty. That's the longest play of the day for the Packers. They have only
that's why you got to throw the ball down the field.
That's right, only 2 yards of total offense. Favre dumping it off to Ferguson. And Robert Ferguson forced out of bounds at the 15-yard line after a gain of 6.
Well, Green Bay has the ball in this field position now because of the play on defense by KGB. You see, he's working against Mike Rosenthal. Now, Culpepper is nervous because he just sacked him before. It forced Culpepper into the pocket. And then Aaron Campbell, second-year player, gets his hand on the ball, and Culpepper did not do a good job of securing it. And that's what he was supposed to be working on the offseason and preseason. 2 hands on the ball in the pocket.
Second down and 4. Green stumbled, locked legs with Favre. No gain on the play. 3rd and 4, but first, we check in once again with JB.
And it's all changed in Detroit. Charles Rogers has made a big impact, the rookie. He's now got 2 touchdown catches from Joey Harrington. 4 yards and 13 yards. His first 2 touchdowns as a pro. They won't be his last. It's Detroit up 14-7 over Arizona.
That can be in Detroit. Just a maligned franchise, but the second pick in the draft is from Detroit, in his hometown, getting off to a great start.
Perfect start for Steve Mariucci's Lions. Here's Green on 3rd and 4. Looks to have the first down. So the Packers move the chains. Amon Green, 4th in the NFC last season. Over 1,200 yards. 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, and he really wasn't healthy at the end of the season. Kind of limped at the end, but he's been healthy. And Mike Sherman was raving about him to us on Friday. Just how patient a runner is and the burst that he still has. And really, he's Brett Favre's best friend here on the field because that gives this offense great balance.
The pitch to Green, the end around to Driver.
Great block by Favre.
And it all up, no gain. No gain on the play.
Yeah, but
around to Driver.
A heck of a block by the quarterback, and every time you see other quarterbacks in this league do this, you cringe. Except Favre, he's like, I got my pads on too. It's a great cut block. His dad would be proud.
Second and goal, Moreeeee.
Ex-high school, coached him in high school. Probably coached that technique with him. Just such a regular guy. Came to our meeting the other day with a T-shirt that's 4 years old and wears one hat every day. Old pair of flip-flops.
I think the hat's older than he is. Green picks up just 1, so it will be 3rd and goal. Big collision. Tom Green and Bernard Walker, who is slow to get up.
Another touchdown for Kansas City. They've got 2 on the ground. This one they've got through the air. Trent Green will pick out Johnny Morton from 20 yards. Green finds Morton all alone in the end zone. That is turning into a rout in Kansas City, 21-0.
Call for pass interference on this drive.
Well, one of the key free agent pickups this offseason where they wanted somebody that could help solidify a young secondary last year that was repeatedly burned.
So the Vikings trainers working on Bernard Walker. Packers on the move, trailing by 10.
What if you'd had a few more days? What if you'd stayed in touch? What if your holiday romance had never ended?
Surprise! Last year I thought he was a god. I just want to kiss him, but I won't be saying that this time.
It doesn't feel like 10 years, it feels like 10 minutes.
You're obviously still angry.
Had sex.
My initial thought was she's still as gorgeous as I remember her.
You have changed so much. I do think Peter's the one.
The holiday fling or the real thing? Back to the Beach starts 9 o'clock tonight, Sky One Sunday.
11888. Half the price of BT Directory inquiries. We'll save you. 11888.
5,000 rebels converging on your area. Everybody down!
To get out alive
Rules of engagement.
We're already engaged.
they'll have to do the impossible.
Go. Stay with this man. It's your job to keep him alive.
Bruce Willis.
Hold the line!
From the director of Training Day. Tears of the Sun.
Here are 2 strong housewives, Brenda and Audrey. And here are 2 tough stains, ideal for testing the amazing strength of a wet sheet of Banty. That's right, ladies, get it wet. Oh, what a stubborn little number. But Banty's double quilting means it won't fall apart. Unlike traditional towels, Audrey. Luckily, Banty's super absorbent too. Bravo! Banty, have you tried it wet yet?
What is going on in Buffalo? Big Sam Adams with a 37-yard interception return. I mean, he runs slower than me, but he still got in. Kevin Smiling builds up by 21.
3rd and 9.
Those are the two injured defensive backs for the Vikings. Bernard Walker on the right, Corey Chavis with the sprained knee on the left. They were responsible for that first interception of Brett Favre today.
3rd and goal. Favre, pump fakes, now throws end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking for a tight end, Bubba Franks.
And you know, if you're the Vikings and you got two starters out and you hold Brett Favre out of the end zone, you feel good about what you just did on defense. Especially after the defensive pass interference where Green Bay looked like that good field position and something to work with.
So a short field goal attempt, 27 yards. Ryan Longwell, the NFL's leading scorer since he came into the league 6 years ago. And Longwell pulls the Packers back to within a touchdown. So Green Bay capitalizing on the Dante Culpepper fumble. Packers pull it in 7.
10-3 in our game, and we're joined by former NFL great Christian Okoye and Sky Sports great Nick Holland over here on the other side.
But one of us used to be a running back.
Yeah, one. But Christian, yes. You played with Joe Montana, and we have a great quarterback in this game in Brett Favre. But you take a guy like Joe Montana in the locker room. How did he like to be treated?
In the locker room, Joe is just one of the guys. You know, he didn't want to be treated special. You know, he would joke around at all times, even in the huddle. He would joke around with the guys, you know, and then he'd call the play and, you know, we play. But I didn't play with Brett Favre, so I don't know how he is in the locker room. But, you know, listening to him for the past 3 years, you know, talking about retiring and then having problems and so on and so forth, it was a problem, and I think he's affecting his play.
This is really interesting, Christian, because here in this studio over the last few years, Brett Favre has been a bit of a sacred cow. I mean, you know, I always talk about him as the greatest quarterback that's playing today. He's the one guy I'd want on my team. I know you feel the same, Kevin, and yet I'm just getting a sense here, Christian, that you're not entirely happy with what he's been doing sort of off the field. You know, never mind on the field, that he's not handling himself the way you would have, as a player, look up to him.
Well, the thing is that I played under Marty Schottenheimer, and when Marty talks to the players, you know, he makes you believe that you're not the only thing on the team. You're not the only guy. So I think Brett Favre has been taking himself like a saint in Green Bay. And, you know, when you regard yourself as a saint and, you know, talk about retirement, you can do anything you want and so on and so forth, you know, and then your hunger for the game is not there anymore. It's going to affect you, and it will affect your team too, because the team is counting on you to come out there and jump out and play.
Over 70,000 on hand here at Lambeau.
Yeah, and it's quite a scene. You know, they've been betting and partying and celebrating the rebirth of the stadium all week, but this is the biggest party. And there was a traffic jam at 4 hours before kickoff today coming down Lombardi Drive. And there's just something about saying Lombardi Drive that just connects you to this great game.
Lombardi Drive, Holmgren Way. Here's John Avery, who has the game's only touchdown. Avery still on his feet, brought down at the 32-yard line by Bao Ju after a 28-yard return. Well, coming up after the Packers and the Vikings in the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, most of you will see the Bears and the 49ers. Some of you will see the Falcons and the Cowboys, or the Saints and the Seahawks. The biggest stories in the NFL are in the NFC, and the NFC is on
Fox, Ken. You got it. And everywhere you go in this league on opening day, there's stories. I mean, Parcells against Atlanta without Mike Vick. Dennis Erickson making his debut in San Francisco. I mean, the stories are never ending here opening week.
Culpepper handing off to Moreeeee Williams. Short gain, run right into Cannibal Navies. Game's just 2, setting up second down and 8.
Second and 8, ball on the 35.
Giants out to a 10-3 lead over the Rams. JB told us about Charles Rogers' second trip into the end zone.
Yeah, and you know, everybody always talks in the offseason. Now, who's going to be the surprise team? You think all night and you study the teams, but you just can't tell. You just don't know anymore until you get out here and you start playing. Culpepper on second and 8.
8.
8.
8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. Takes it out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Dante gaining 6, setting up 3rd down and 2.
You know, so many of the problems of Culpepper last year is when he got out of the pocket, and how did he grip the ball? I mean, again, right here, he's a running back now. He's not thinking about throwing the football. He's got it away from the defense, so he's protecting it good, but really in the pocket is where he has his problem. And if he doesn't have 2 hands on it, everybody in this league is going to be trying to strip it out of his hands.
Culpepper last season gained over 600 yards on the ground. 3rd down and 2. Short drop. Culpepper firing downfield, and the catch was made for a 1st down by Randy Moss at the Green Bay 36. 23-yard pass play.
But I tell you, Culpepper had all the time in the world. Watch this protection up here. Green Bay just rushes 4. Culpepper has time here. As he gets a late blitz from Nick Barnett, he hung in there to the last second, threw it up there for Moss to go just snatch it right out of the air. Great vision and good catch by Moss.
4th catch of the day for Randy Moss.
Quietly, Moss is accumulating some pretty good numbers in this 1st half. Let's look here by Green Bay.
Off the play fake to Mo Williams. Culpepper under pressure, and he just overthrows Williams, who is all alone on the outside.
Culpepper wants the team to come back to the huddle and huddle up here, but he had Mo Williams all alone. I mean, great athletic ability by Culpepper to get away. But watch Mo Williams, how open he is on this. Mo Williams is going to end up over here all by himself. Right here. There is nobody behind him if he could have caught that ball.
3 wide receivers set. 2nd and 10 from the Packers 36. Complete at the 26-yard line. 5th catch for Moss. And he looks to have another Vikings 1st down. He does.
You know, people have opinions about Randy Moss in this league, and some of them are justified, but the fact is he doesn't miss any games. He doesn't miss days of practice, and he hasn't missed a game in his 6th year now in this league. And while everybody still fears him deep, he is becoming a clear underneath receiver. All those passes that Chris Carter used to catch are coming to him now.
That's why his average is down a bit last season.
But he's moving the chains now rather than a lot more of the spectacular big touchdown catches of a few years ago.
Williams tripped up from behind by Antoine Edwards.
What makes him feared underneath right now, Kenny, is the ability that and the fear that he puts into every defensive back in this league, that he can smoke him and blow right by him. And so that everybody's playing deep on him now. They're like, okay, if they're going to do that to us, no sense in forcing it deep. Let's just take what they're giving us. And he'll probably catch a ton of 1st down balls this year. I mean, I don't know, 100 of them maybe.
Caught 106 passes a year ago. 3 wide receivers. Movement on 2nd and 9.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 75. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
See, that's noise. That's crowd. That's on the road. Those things. And Mike Rosenthal, who started his first 16 games last year for the New York Giants, he knows better than that. That's a mental breakdown. If you can't hear, you got to see the ball. One eyeball on the ball, one eyeball on your man. I mean, you got to split your eyeballs like that. You train yourself to do it.
2nd down and 14. Short drop. Culpepper to Moss. He makes the catch. An incredible catch. How did he do that?
I don't know. That was as tight a throw and as soft hands, sticky fingers reaching down to take this one out of the air. Because, look, right there, he's got Al Harris all over him trying to strip that ball, and it fell in the web, like Spider-Man type fingers.
Look what I found.
Yeah.
His 5th reception for a first down today. 1st and goal from the 7. And Culpepper's pass batted down by Cledius Hunt.
Second and goal on 7.
There's the music. That used to be called the Kraken. Why not a little Spider-Man up here at the top? That look like he has a lot of safety help here. Probably not a bad place to go.
2nd and goal. Culpepper takes off and is brought down at the 2. Hit initially by Antoine Edwards.
Remember last year he ran for 10 touchdowns. And a lot of plays just like that, where you fear Randy Moss, you're trying to take away the receivers, and then really he's just one-on-one. Sometimes they don't even call that play. They call a pass, but if he sees the opening, he's got the freedom just to pull that ball down and take off with it. I mean, this is Nick Barnett. He runs right out of it. He sees the middle linebacker run out. He says, why not? Let me take a shot.
Now 3rd and goal from the Green Bay 2. Culpepper to the end zone. Touchdown. Wayne Bates.
Great call. Great call and better execution. The Culpepper on the move there was right on the money. Good drive by the Vikings. Randy Moss here is a decoy. Watch him all go with Moss. 2 guys jump on Moss, nobody goes with Bates. But when you're catching the ball the way Moss is today, as much as they're going to him, that's what happens. It takes the coverage with him.
Elling adds the point after. Culpepper hit Moss 3 times during that drive for 56 yards. And then it's Culpepper to Bates in the end zone for the touchdown.
Every comprehensive policy from the AA guarantees you a courtesy car until your claim is settled, whatever the circumstances, even if it's stolen or written off. No one else offers this. Check your policy, then call us for a competitive quote. One day you might be glad you did. For a policy that guarantees you a courtesy car, just ask the AA now on 0800 444 777.
You're coming round? Great.
Aerial tablets now have a new quick wash action for brilliant results even on a quick wash cycle. So you can stay in control of your laundry, if nothing else. Tablets you can use on the quick wash. Aerial. That's another load off your mind.
$17-3 in our game, and for me, the most valuable player for Minnesota right now has to be Randy Moss. And, you know, you look at him, being a former football player, what's your take?
I'm telling you, Randy is awesome. You know, every time you throw the ball at him, you know, he will catch it. I mean, they should go to him every single time because he's an asset. If you don't go to him, you got 2 people on him, somebody will be open. You throw it to that other person. But if you throw it to him anywhere, like he did right here, he will catch it. And also, he's making their running game improve.
As we get back to the action, scores 17-3, Minnesota lead.
Kickoff weekend in the NFL. Jets and Redskins got things started on Thursday night.
We were excited about that when we sat down, had a nice little room and the buffet, and feet were up and sight and ready to sit down and watch some football.
Got to watch some football here in Green Bay this afternoon. Vikings out to a 17-3 lead on the hometown Packers. Antonio Chapman. Chapman brought down at the 25 penalty marker following the 21-yard return by Chapman.
During the return, holding number 53 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Harris Lennon, back on linebacker. Well, this fall, 8 teams will compete to see what will be this year's historic moment, who will make the next unforgettable play, and what team will take home baseball's ultimate prize. Fox Sports brings you baseball's Division Series, and then becomes the exclusive home to the Championship Series and World Series. It all begins September 30th, right here on Fox.
Oh, there's some good races going on too, isn't there?
National League, American League, wild card. Should go down to the final weekend. Green on first down, out to the 17-yard line for a gain of 2. Corey Chavis back in the game for the Vikings. Made the tackle.
You know, the Packers haven't been sharp today. I think it's a shot to Mike Sherman, who thought that his team had really learned how to practice. And he said he was more concerned with how his team practices than how he plays. Well, I think you should be more concerned right now with how the way they're playing than the way that they practice. Look, they look good in practice on Friday. I mean, up-tempo, very crisp, in and out of the huddle, but they haven't had a chance to get in and out of the huddle very much here today. No rhythm to this offense.
5 pump fake on 2nd and 8. Complete to Green, who falls for the first down. The Vikings won the opening toss, and they drove in for a score on the opening drive, and it seems like the Packers have been reeling ever since.
That, and, you know, if you're a player out there, and you're an offensive lineman for Green Bay, you're out there in the offense, you're saying, you got to get something started. You know, and I think the guy that sort of ignites this Packer offense is Ahman Green. In a short passing game like we just saw, and then you get him running the football. You know, and keep the defense a little bit off balance.
The pitch to Green. Ahman Green, his best run of the day, out to the 42-yard line. Gain of 16 yards. Another Packer first down.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take many plays like that to feel a rhythm on offense. That's just the patience right there of Ahman Green, and then the burst, and how strong he is. How he can run through tackles of linebackers and defensive linemen like he did on that drive, on that run.
Remember, Green fumbled earlier, one of 2 Green Bay Packer turnovers. Green replaced by Najee Davenport in the backfield. Again, more movement, more flags. Early jump by Kenny Mixon.
Favre's going to play that all the way out. Flipped it out to his favorite receiver, Donald Driver.
Defense, offside, number 79, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Still, first down.
We talk about rhythm. Talk about rhythm, and we talk about offense. And, you know, once you find the rhythm, it doesn't matter what the defense does. I mean, Brett said to us, he goes, I study the film and I prepare. He goes, but I've been in this offense for 11 years. I know this offense. It's up to us to execute what we do, not what the defense does.
5 for Ferguson for another Packer first down at the Viking 46. Gain of 8 yards on the pass play.
Yellow line that's traveling with us right here, pointing out the first down marker. Makes it a little bit easier here on TV to see exactly how far the Packers got to go in order to move the chains.
Yellow line will be with us all season long.
Want to bring you the updated modern technology that we have.
Here's Davenport, first carry of the day for the second-year back out of Miami. And he gains 3.
Williams and
setting up
Chavis
second down and 7.
Keep you abreast here of all the scores on our update. That drops down very conveniently. The Patriots getting it handed to by the Buffalo Bills right now. Lawyer Malloy going from New England to Buffalo, and I think a lot of teams would have liked to have had Lawyer Malloy. The Vikings, one of them.
And Drew Bledsoe in his second season with the Bills, going against his former club. Down to the 37-yard line. Driver hit hard by Claiborne and Crockett. Donald Driver went to the Pro Bowl last season, caught a team-high 70 passes as we hit the 2-minute warning. Here in Green Bay, the Vikings leading the Packers 17-3.
world's elite gather for the most prestigious tournament in women's golf. Rivalry runs high as Europe and the United States meet face to face. Stung by last year's defeat, Europe are determined to regain the coveted title and are ready.
1, 2, 3.
For revenge. It's the Ryder Cup of women's golf. The 2003 Solheim Cup starts Friday at 6 a.m. exclusively live on Sky Sports 1.
Out of the blue one day, the wife decided that we should go on the internet. I've been with BT Open World Anytime roughly about 2 years now. It's fast, it's reliable, it's extremely quick connecting. In fact, the only thing that stops me getting on there is my daughter.
Get your first month with BT Open World Anytime for just $5.99. Call 0800 800 801.
When are you going to start listening? You don't listen to me, you don't listen to your mum, you don't listen to your teachers, you don't listen to...
Had enough of listening? Come and talk to Connections.
(17-3) Green Bay trying to make a last run. You know, they need that little bit of momentum going in at halftime.
I'll tell you what, they have a good rhythm going on for them right now. If they keep that up, they're going to catch up. But I'm a big fan of Vikings Football Club because, you know, what they're doing today is what I want them to do. You know, the offensive line blocking, Ronnie Mars catching the ball, giving the offensive line time to work.
Okay, live pictures as we're back to the action there, and it's, you like the Vikings.
Number 3.
Flag. David Martin, the intended receiver, was tripped up, got tangled up with Russell. Martin, the third-year tight end, went down, and Russell comes up with the interception.
And Green Bay went for it all there, and it's not a bad call except what you said. Martin tripped on the play. And it was one of those, here's David Martin running here. He runs into it. He just tripped over his own feet. The turf monster got him. And Brian Russell, playing center field, got himself the easiest interception he'll ever have.
Russell thought he had one earlier, but the ball bounced on him. But this one will stand.
And it kills Green Bay's best drive of the day.
The third Packers turnover. Williams hit hard by Joe Johnson.
Yeah, Green Bay's going to call that timeout. Try and stop Minnesota in 3 plays and try to get the ball back.
Hey, thanks for the email and the texts that are coming in. Nick, what do you have?
Yeah, thanks for the texts. We're getting a few here. It's from a new viewer, Lisa in Nottingham. Hi, Lisa. Always nice to get new viewers. I'm new to the NFL, so a quick question. Where will the Super Bowl take place this season? The answer is in Houston. I think it's on the 1st of February. And an interesting one from Shep in Chesterfield. How do you think Ontario Smith will play after I felt what was a disappointing pre-season? Well, Ontario Smith, rookie running back with Minnesota, did have a disappointing pre-season, you're right, Shep, which is why he is way down the depth charts and we ain't seen him so far.
Jerry Kramer right here in the Aloha shirt, feeling Aloha type weather. Back here, one of the alumni returning this weekend for the rebirth of the stadium.
They will be introduced during halftime ceremonies. They were all on hand last night, along with over 30,000 fans. Another Packer timeout as Williams takes it up to the 14-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 4. As we take you around the Ring of Fame.
Yeah, Don Hudson, and then, of course, inside their stadium, they have redone their Hall of Fame. We went through it the other day, and it is a monument to the history of the NFL, not just to the Packers.
You saw the prior Hall of Fame across the street. They've moved it to the atrium here at at Lambeau.
Yeah, and I tell you, when we saw Vince Lombardi's office recreated, that sent some good chills. You got the projector on the desk there.
Photos of Vince and his wife.
Yeah, a couple books. You know, those old coaches, they always read books about presidents. And got Harry Truman on the desk there. You know, Teddy Roosevelt. Things that they brought. Some of the lessons they learned in office back there. Other coaches used to read those things.
In fact, Vice President Richard Nixon was on hand when this stadium opened in 1957. Culpepper from the shotgun. Vikings play it safe. Mo Williams out to the 17, about 2 yards shy of the marker. Vikings call timeout. Stop the clock at 1:30 as they await the punt.
The actual 12 championship banners as you come down the tunnel now. Some of the great players leading right out of the locker room, down the tunnel. And then right at the end of the tunnel, they kept some of the walkway from the original tunnel. That was Mike Sherman's idea. Brought some of the blocks right there to preserve the history of what that was like coming down Lambeau Field. And some of those champions and the 20 Hall of Famers that they have as part of this organization.
Tunnel used to be on the north side, to our left. And Mike Sherman had them move 3 slabs of concrete, transplanted them in the new tunnel in the corner in the south end zone.
Well, just to get the sense of that history every day that you come out here, whether it's to play a game or to practice, or to go through your walkthroughs, that you always feel that history.
And they've kept the lower seating bowl intact. Big rush. Johnson gets it away, taken at the 46 by Chapman. In Viking territory. Brought down at the Minnesota 48 by Brian Russell. So the Vikings use Packers use all 3 of their timeouts to stop the clock. When the Vikings have the football, now Green Bay with good field position, but no timeouts as we await our Visa halftime report.
Jared Kramer looks good, doesn't he? I saw Bart Starr in the lobby the other day. They said he's 69, and he looked fantastic. Brett Favre loves this end of the game. He loves the last 2 minutes of the game in the first half.
Favre complete. Javon Walker down to the 26-yard line. Remember, the Packers do not have any timeouts left. 22-yard pass play from Favre to Walker.
Well, he ends Thursday's practice every week with this drill, and they scored against the defense. The touchdown to Donald Driver this Thursday.
David Martin. Clock continues to run. Under a minute.
Fans thought that he got out of bounds there, and he didn't. They let the clock keep running.
Second down and 8 after the short game. Amon Green heading for the sideline. Out of bounds at the 10, 35 seconds remaining. Gain of 13.
You know, and this drill here, this 2-minute drill, so you see the Vikings are rotating defensive linemen. It exhausts defensive linemen, offensive linemen too. So it's really who can stand up. But you rarely see a good pass rush. You see Hogan on 2 knees there trying to catch his win. Marco Rivera trying to catch his. Remember, these guys haven't played really much football the last 4 weeks. This is a conditioning test as much as it is anything else.
35 seconds remaining, first half. Packers trailing by 2 touchdowns. 5 to the end zone, intercepted for the 3rd time in this first half. The 4th Green Bay turnover. Brian Williams still on his feet. Williams brings it all the way back to the Packer 28.
Brent looked confused. I mean, this is just a bad throw. Donald Driver's in the end zone. This ball isn't anywhere near him. I mean, Brian Williams is the only one in the vicinity of this ball. a real breakdown in that end of the game, or that end of the field. And maybe getting sandwiched like that had something to do with it.
And then Williams with a 77-yard return. Vikings have all three of their timeouts. 17 seconds remaining in the half. Following the fourth Packer turnover. Culpepper, pump fake, then steps up, and then throws it away. That cost 9 seconds on the clock.
But Culpepper has done that a number of times here in the first half. Just get rid of the ball, go to second down. Brian Williams, he's still trying to catch his breath.
Second career pick for Williams. Favre intercepted 3 times by the Vikings last November. The following week, the Buccaneers picked the ball 4 times. So now with 8 seconds remaining, a 46-yard attempt for the rookie Aaron Elling. Hit a 52-yarder in preseason against Arizona last week.
Whoa.
Just made it through. So after the 3rd interception of Favre, Elling connects from 46.
Takes a lot of faith by a head coach to walk out a rookie punter and a rookie kicker on opening day in Lambeau. And Brett can't believe that this is the first half of the opening game of the season. And I think there had to be a breakdown with him and the receiver. The receiver going the wrong way on that last interception.
On the prior interception, yeah. Martin had tripped.
Right here, I think, is where Brett wants to go. That's Driver, and it looks like Driver went back that way, and Brett, that's an option route. Driver went back to the left, and Favre was throwing it like he was going to the right. See, Favre thinks he's coming here.
And then a 77-yard return by Williams. 2 plays later, 46-yard field goal. So the Vikings, who historically have struggled here at Lambeau, Packers have beaten Minnesota, Brian, 8 of the last 9 here at Lambeau, while the reverse has been the case up at the Metrodome. The Vikings with a 17-point lead as Nick Lucci took the short kickoff. Packers hearing it from the crowd. Chris Hovan's happy. A 17-point halftime lead for the Vikings as the Packers committed 4 first-half turnovers. Brian Williams with one of the 3 Viking interceptions. Amon Green coughed one up. 4 turnovers at all committed by the Packers. Vikings with over 200 yards of total offense, and they lead by the score of 20-3.
Vikings got to feel great about the first half. They got the turnovers. They were able to move the football, control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And this is a perfect first half for the Vikings.
Big first half for Randy Moss. 6 receptions, 87 yards, including 3 for 56 yards on the last Vikings touchdown drive. 6 catches in all in the first half.
I'm your worst nightmare.
Adsy, Flip, Scuds, JJ and Bigfoot are heading your way. Each week they'll unleash their own twisted challenges and terrorize adults who are competing for cash in an all-new game show.
Just do as I say.
It's payback time for kids everywhere.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Giving adults a run for their money. All new Little Monsters, Thursday, 8 o'clock, Sky 1.
Moss,